Hello, everyone. This is Matt Lau coming to you on Monday afternoon, again in my apartment. One update, I ordered from Amazon a small whiteboard, so hopefully by Wednesday, but at the latest next Monday, I'll have a little whiteboard here to kind of slow myself down and make sure I'm putting the key terms on the board and all that sort of jazz. Today I'm going to do 3 videos. This first one right now is going to be about just reviewing how the schedule has changed and what's coming up in the class, uh, uh, including the midterm questions. I'm going to go over those right now. A second video is going to look at 2 chapters from the book closely that could help you or should help you understand the context for the midterm a little bit better. And then a third video, I'm going to discuss some music from Beethoven, and we'll look at a clip from that. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about in terms of general schedule is going to Blackboard. If you're on Blackboard, sorry for my primitive video skills here. If you're on Blackboard, I'm at my course documents page right now. So I'm in our class, and this is what you should all be seeing in course documents. I've added, last week, I'm reviewing now, I've added a revised schedule, which we'll talk about in a second, your midterm questions, the upcoming readings. This is a play that's also stored on the play is stored here as a link that will take you to Canopy. You will have to log in. If you notice up here, I'm on, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm on our QCC Canopy. I'm already logged in. You'll have to make all these arrangements with your library card number on your student ID card to watch the film. That's for next week. Okay, so that's what's here now. I've added a few other short things. I've even added, I'll put our lecture here and the current ones coming up in a second. Once I'm done with them, I've added some things about the coronavirus that might interest you. This one is a article by this guy, Mike Davis, a renowned historian. He wrote a book about the coming of superbugs like SARS and MERS and avian flu and so on about 15 years ago, and he's back in the news cycle now as an leading expert. And then this one by leading epidemiologist, advisor in the movie Contagion, describing what's going on with the virus. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're not going outside too much. That's really the best thing you can do in all this. And again, I totally appreciate the fact that some of you are, some of you are dealing with issues that are totally more important than school, including, losing jobs, having family members get sick, and so on. So just let me know if there's anything like that. I appreciate those circumstances. I understand that this class is no longer probably your first priority in life, and you're gonna pass. You just gotta write a few things for me and try to keep up with watching these short videos. So moving on from that sort of rambling introduction, let's talk about the midterm questions and the schedule. So if you're looking at the schedule with me online, we are doing Pride and Prejudice, basically the last 100 and so pages this week. Next week, I'd like you to watch this movie, A Doll's House, and I'll have a brief lecture on a certain part of the book, the play, basically the last part of the play, but I'll talk about Ibsen a little bit too in all that. And then after that, we're reading Kafka for a couple weeks, and then there's a spring recess. You all need to buy this book called The Black Poets. We're going to be discussing poetry exclusively from that short anthology starting after spring break, April 20th, so about a month from now. Okay, the main thing right now, and moving on, is your midterm questions. So if we can go over those briefly. There's 2 of them. You have to answer both. Let me say that again. There are 2 questions, and yes, you have to answer both. You can write as little as 400 words, which is about a page and a half, and I was saying upwards of 800 words, which could be, you could take 3 or 4 pages to answer each question. But Each question you have to answer with at least 400 words. I'll say it again. Each question, 400 words. Have a thesis, quote the text twice from 2 different chapters. I'm going to do a video about this in a second. And then you need to have a MLA bibliography that mentions the book. This is all in the handout. I'm just going over the handout, okay? So don't feel like I'm giving you new information that you can't keep up with. It's all on the handout. That's your friend. Okay, question 1. This is basically argue for or against the following idea. Is the love between Lizzie and Darcy civil or uncivil? Is it rude? Is it impolite? Is it slightly about disagreement? Okay? And I know that sounds funny because I'm using a lot of words that maybe signify something good to you or something bad to you, and then I'm saying that love is like that and love is supposed to be good. But the whole trick of this assignment is to show that you grasp that love is not necessarily all about good feelings, okay, and happy, simple politeness, okay, because that's fake often. Politeness is fake, and love is not fake. Love is very sincere and so on. Okay, so let's just read through this closely. This first question. Argue for or against the following thesis. The love between Lizzie Bennet and Darcy is fundamentally uncivil. Your thesis should have qualifications regarding time. It starts that way. Or noting change or sameness. Although it is uncivil, this incivility changes. Those are some examples of how to qualify it. And involving anything else you might find important. Keep in mind that civility means formal behavior. General incivility, which I'm going to quote this chapter later in my next lecture, my next video I upload. General incivility, this term on page 139 in our edition, would mean anything that is not formal behavior and is not necessarily just having bad manners, but being honest, playful, familiar, and even awkward. So general incivility is not necessarily bad. There are bad, you can just be rude, but also, as you probably know, if you're being honest with someone, you're not necessarily being polite. And we think of honesty as good, okay, because it sets you free, or whatever they say in the Bible and all our traditional wisdom, okay? I suggest as you argue your point or points, make use of the negative to clarify your interpretation. For example, it is not that Lizzie and Darcy are simply rude to each other at the end of the story. It is that, and then you go on. So use this, it's not this, it's that. That's a rhetorical trick for differentiating. Okay, so I'll go over this in every video from now on, this question of, is their love rude? Is their love uncivil? Okay, is their love uncivil? And my answer personally is yes, it is, but you have to understand that being uncivil can be good. It can involve honesty, humor, playfulness, familiarity. As I've said in class, with your friends, you're not civil. With your friends, you can mess around. You can be mean to them, and it's cool. Okay? Now, second question, simpler question, more of a fun one. I would like you to think about and refer to the book, but this is more a creative question, okay? And it's a what if, which we've done in class a few times. What if the end of Lying was different? What if this or that? I'm asking you a similar kind of thing about this book. What if Elizabeth said to Darcy the first time, what if she said yes to Darcy the first time he asked her to marry him? Would their marriage be any different? Why or why not? So we're going to look at this chapter in the next lecture, the next video. But what if when he proposes to her and she famously says no? This is chapter 34 overall, or if you're in volume 2, the Roman numeral is 11. So volume 2, Roman numeral 11. In my book, in this version, I'm talking about pages 184 to 189, basically. Okay, so in that key chapter, what if it was different? What if she said yes? And she has reason to say yes. He's rich. He's handsome. Sure, he's kind of a dick, but so is she. So, why not? The famous question, what if it's different there? How would their marriage be better or worse? And Would their marriage be any different? Why or why not? And that, so just run with that. Again, 400 words is what I'm asking for each question. The first one to review, to recap, is their love uncivil? Is it fundamentally uncivil? And you could say yes or no, or maybe so. All right. I say personally, if I was writing this, I say yes, it is uncivil. But uncivil can mean good. It can mean things that are where you're honest with people, where you're being familiar, playful, having humor. Civility is about just having manners with strangers. Okay, and it's often an act. It's often fake. So that question, I would personally answer yes, they are uncivil, and that's good. That shows their love is genuine. All right. Second question, what if she says yes the first time when she rejects him in volume 2, chapter 11, or in overall chapter 34? What if she rejects him there, or what if she accepts him rather than rejecting him, and run with it? Okay, are they happy? I mean, she's rich, she's secure. Maybe she can work on him after they're married. Okay, what if she doesn't reject him? Write an alternate version of the story and their marriage based on that. Okay, I'll see you guys in a second discussing a couple key chapters from the book. All right, bye-bye.